Hi everybody, and welcome to the first tutorial on shooting in low light with your DJI Mavic Pro. What we're going to do is go through the process of setting up the drone and certain things to look out for, and the color grading with LUTs that will assist in getting the nighttime look that people were asking about. So a lot of you were asking about the low light videos, and this will explain the process behind it, and we'll go through it very quickly. What we'll do is give you an explanation that's easy for everyone to understand. This is not for post-production experts, it's for everybody. Before we continue, just hit the subscribe button and we will be doing many more tutorials and videos that will be of great interest to you guys. And comment, we'll do our best to get back to you. Make yourself at home, and without any further ado, let's continue. Now, we have got a shot here of a city, and as you can see, it's not nighttime, but it is shot pretty much after sunset. Now, the reason for this is the Mavic can't shoot in low light. It's very bad in low light, and the thing is to keep the ISO as low as possible. Naturally, the higher the ISO you go, the more noise it's going to introduce. So ideally, we want to keep it about ISO 100, maximum 400, but even at 400, you're going to have a lot of noise. So you're going to have to shoot just at sunset, just after sunset, when the car lights and city lights start coming on, and then we will then grade it with the LUTs to pull it down and give it the illusion that it's nighttime. So remember one thing, keep your drone at ISO 100 as low as possible. You can fly around till it starts pushing up, until if it starts getting too dark and your ISO gets to about 400 and you need to push it higher, then you might as well stop filming. So there's a small gap window there. Okay, so secondly, do not film with any filters. No filters, because what will happen is the filters create or act as sunglasses and darkening the image. The Mavic will not be able to deal with that additional darkness to kind of give an optimal picture quality. So no filters, that's rule number 2. So now what we've done is we've got the optimal time to film, the ISO that you need to film at, which is the lower the better, and no filters. Now we're going to go into our shot here. As you can see, it's very good. There is minimal grain. We'll just zoom into it. Naturally, you do pick up a little bit of grain, but at least you start seeing some information in the picture. You've got information in the dark areas, and you know, even in the sort of foliage over here, you've got information. Yes, to add to that, do not film at 0 or less than that. So always +1 to maintain picture information. This area here will completely blur out and become muddy, everything over here. Although 0 and -1 does act as a noise reduction, but it's not going to serve you in a situation like this where you need to preserve. There's a lot of low contrast information in the picture, which will then blur out completely. So we've got detail in the picture. Now, what I've got here is 2 lumetri color effects. So the first one, I'll get to that shortly. That is a little tip at the end to try and illustrate to you a little trick to kind of make the footage look even more authentic. So we're going to go into the second lumetri, the bottom one, and we are now going to install or load up a LUT from SpectrumGrades. These are my favorite LUTs, and we will then go into our color panel and we will load it up. So I guess we'll load up the, let's see, the B, SpectrumGrades B. Okay, so here we got an instant great looking shot now already. From this point, what we need to do is just tweak the image. and it's important to keep an eye on your scopes. This is very important. Just to kind of give you a basic of how this works. 0 over here at the bottom is your darks of your image, and 100 is your pure white. So that's pure black and that's pure white. Now we never want to go beyond these points, and what I mean by that, if I pull down the blacks over here in the Lumetri panel, you can see it's flattening out. We're losing information in the picture. But we do want to pull this as dark as possible. But it's also good to have picture information within the dark areas. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we will reset that. Okay, put it back to how it was, and we still have the SpectrumGrades LUTs installed here running, and we're grading underneath the LUT. So this is very important because LUTs behave on top of the corrected image. So here we're tweaking the image. Now what we can do is we're looking at these scopes over here, and we will then increase our contrast, and then we will increase our whites, just stretching out the image a bit. Now from this point we will then increase our shadows a little bit if we want. And we'll pull our highlights down. Okay. Now we can see we're still way too, as they say, crushed. We're cutting off too much of the black area. So let's pull that up a bit. And if you watch, we start tipping the bottom of that. So you just want a little bit touching, maybe not even touching. It's up to you. It doesn't matter if it's like if you lose like a tiny bit of information in the blacks. So now let's try and simulate more of a nighttime situation. So maybe we can pull this down, pull the darks down, the shadows, and we'll pull the exposure up. Okay, so here we got exposure, and also we'll pull our temperature down to a more cooler tone. So nighttime generally has blue tones to it. And here we got a fantastic looking night shot. It is very sharp. It's working beautifully. It's got a great cinematic look. So as you can see already, we've got a fantastic looking image. Now what we'll do to kind of trick this video into looking more nighttime-ish is we will add, we have the Lumetri color effect over here. I'm just going to activate it. Okay, there's nothing done to it, and what we'll do is add a mask on the sky. So this is the mask tool. We can have a circle, a square, or we can draw our own one in. So I'm just going to go through this very roughly. Now I'm not going to tweak it out completely, and I'm just going to give you an idea. So we're going to click on the create mask. We're going to draw one in. We're going to go quite wide out. We're going to go over here, and we're going to just draw one in. Okay, naturally I'd go in a lot closer. We'll tweak it out now. We'll fix it in a moment, but it's just to kind of give you an idea. Okay, we'll fix it. We'll zoom in a moment. And like I said, this is just an example. You can refine it a lot more in your own time. Because time is precious and we want to get through this tutorial nice and quickly for you. So we will zoom in a bit, tweak it up, just grab that. Just always keep in mind you're on your mask over here when you're editing. Pull that up. There we go. Naturally you would add in some more points at this section here. We will scroll across. This might look a bit funny, but we'll give it a try because there's not enough points here, but let's see. And there we go. Okay, so we are, and we'll zoom out to 50%. It might not be the best mask, but actually it doesn't really matter. So with the mask selected over here, we are now going to feather our mask. We're going to feather it quite a bit. And then as you can see, this is the area of the feather where it's going to go from dark to light, because we're actually going to darken the sky. So because we're in the Lumetri color panel and you've masked out a certain area of the image, we can now go to your basic color correction, and we will pull the exposure down a bit. Okay, now that is starting to look like nighttime. Now what you'll have is a little bit of a halo effect going on here. So we'll just click off the mask so you can actually see it. In your mask you can then adjust your expansion. So you can pull it in, out. And there we go, it starts going into the area over here. Although it is kind of going over the building, but at least for now you can see we can actually increase our feather just to kind of give a more subtle gradient over the water over here. And let's scale out to here. Okay, so we've got this whole thing, and let's zoom in just to kind of see what's going on here. Excuse me, what's going on? There we go. And that's pretty much it. So let's look without the mask and with it. This now looks like a proper nighttime scene. And although there is grain, there is minimal grain without noise reduction. This is absolutely acceptable and workable. Now, I'll show you the before and after, and you can now see where we've come from. We've come from that to this. If you want to add noise reduction, I would highly suggest you put it before your color, your effects color, when you do your grades and edits. The noise reduction behaves a lot better on the raw footage than on the graded, because when you grade, you then are enhancing the noise, and it's going to make it a lot more difficult for the noise reduction to work. So let's just we'll take a noise reduction that I've prepped as well, and we'll just drop it in here, because we will zoom in a bit, and as you can see, let's just go over here to 200%. The image is looking fantastic, as you can see, looking wonderful. Not too much noise, although it is enhanced a bit. It was probably shot at ISO 200. And with the noise reduction, I'm not going to show you how to do noise reduction. If you guys want a tutorial on that, please drop a message in the comment below and I will do that for you. So here it is, activated noise reduction, and you'll see it reduce the noise. There we go, looking beautifully clean, excellent city footage, low light nighttime footage, and there we go, we have your shot looking amazing. So I hope everybody gets to learn something from this, and I know everyone's been asking and finally got it out, and hopefully I'd love to see some of your shots. Please do send them through. I'd love to see your low light shots where they're sharp and looking great. Thank you everyone for watching, and I hope you managed to do amazing stuff, and looking forward to seeing your work and chatting. Have a good one, guys. Chat soon.